Hi everyone, here we are at the Bridge Expo, Dallas. We are with the Leo King, and we are, as member of the Way of Being Foundation, we want to dive a little bit into your perception on some of the topics that bring into manifestation New Earth. So I love your work, I must say. I'm also very connected to the stars, to
Awesome.
astrology, and I love the way that you approach to it. So on behalf of that, I would love to ask you, when it comes to New Earth and how people relate to that information that you're bringing out, how would you say that based on all those registers and archives that you access to through astrology, from that percentage, how much of it dictates the way that people is going to act and the way that people is going to not act?
Well, it's 100%. So a good example for speaking of New Earth, Saturn and Neptune, they're two planets we all hear about. Saturn's 29 and a half years,
yes.
Neptune's 165 years around the sun. We saw them meet in 1989, near the end of it, in Capricorn. They're about to meet at the zero Aries spot, the very beginning of the zodiac. The last time that happened was 4,361 BC. So if you do the math, we're in 2025, 6,400 years ago. Now,
Yes.
what was the history happening then? It's called prehistoric history. There's no history, except for them trying to figure out through DNA where people started coming out of nowhere and started to migrate and start to meet.
Okay.
Okay? And it was off DNA, which is really interesting.
Yes.
Oh, okay, it looks like people from East Asia these are the tribes of people that kind of met and created what we now know today as Earth. So when we think of New Earth, this transit about to happen in February 2026.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
You can just see what's happening with AI. We already know the government's admitting to UAP stuff. But the bigger parts are, where's the origin of humanity? Because to me, that's like, did something reset or happen to where then it was like, go out, find the other human, 6,500 years ago?
Okay. So,
What if that's about to happen again?
okay.
But,
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
In a different
no.
way. Like, you're not even what you think. We're not from Earth.
absolutely.
We're not earthly beings.
Yes.
So the New Earth to me is humans realizing this is not the lush home we thought it was.
Okay. So stepping up into our cosmic nature.
Correct. Yeah, and where that's really from.
Yeah. Because we know that all of these big groups that are in control of this reality, they guide themselves a lot through stars. You know, they really have it as a must in their creations. So now, based on those readings that you have just said, and you mentioned this huge year, 2026. So what do you think could, besides us acknowledging that we are a cosmic race, what is another principle or something critical that needs to be acknowledged as a race, let's say as a cosmic race, in order to create a different story that would go into the very same variants that astrology allows,
Right.
based on specific boundaries?
Well, what comes up with it is who seeded the religions? So the problem's religion. Because as you just said, the stories.
Yeah.
So everybody's running on these stories that have been, they're the same story, just everybody's believing it, everybody, right? So what you see is with Neptune at the end of Pisces right now, and it's about to come back in October 22nd, and then by January 26th, it's done. This is where you're seeing more people cling to religion than ever, and that's what comes at the end of an age, right? So we hear about the age of Pisces, age of Aquarius.
Yes.
Well, the planets are actually at the end of this. They're at the last part of the zodiac. All the outer planets are moving into air and fire. So what's going to happen here is the end of this story of religion, because if you get the origin to it, like let's say aliens planted the idea of all this stuff, right?
Exactly.
And then everybody
Yes.
going to church is like, oh my God, you're telling
Yeah.
me that Jesus was a fucking alien?
Yeah.
Right? That's going to like throw everybody that's into these cults really off. So it's not going to be as pretty as people think, because what's going to happen is like the worst addiction in the world is religion, worse than heroin, worse than fentanyl.
Yes.
So it's so funny, they promote that in the world, but like they say, oh no, fentanyl's the worst. They don't want to like say publicly like, oh, actually religion's the worst drug you could ever have in your life.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to take.
Right? So
yeah.
we're going to
Yeah.
watch a lot of people freak out and be in denial.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting moment, because this is also the Uranus coming into Gemini, the fourth turning it's called, but that comes from astrology, right? So we had it during every major war in America, every 84 years. This is the fourth one, so we're getting Revolutionary War, Civil War, World War II all at the same time. And it's really going to be this holy war. Who's the better religion? You're already seeing it now,
Yes.
right?
Yes, already.
And that's where it's like getting to this point to where how it's going to have to be some big dramatic thing, and that's what I feel 2027 is about, once we really get
I
to
agree.
all these outer planets really getting to their places fully kicked in. And I think it's going to go really well, but I don't think it's going to, it's almost going to feel like we are, as light workers, people like help people like get out of that psychosis.
Yeah.
And I can envision almost kind of like centers of like, hey, like, how do we help you get there? That's why I think technology can help, virtual reality, like getting people to kind of like go through their own trauma when they were young with their parents and why they got into religion. Believe it or not, it's going to be like, it's like what happened in England when Henry VIII in 1533 and 34 left the Catholic Church. A lot of
Yes.
people freaked out, right? But then a lot of people loved it. They were like, oh, Reformation's great. Now I can like read a Bible. I don't have to like go through some creepy old priest that only reads in Latin, and I'm going to be able to read it in English. And then they found out when they looked at all the what they did is Henry VIII left the church, but then he went through the monasteries, right? And he cleaned them all out. All the priests were saying it was Jesus' blood when it was duck blood. This
Yes.
is true shit.
Yes, yes.
All the nuns in there were all impregnated by the priests, by the people, right? At all
Yes.
the monasteries in England,
Yeah. And you see it everywhere.
right? This has been the plague of the last couple thousand years. It's coming to its down. It's been the downfall of humanity.
And just to mention, for the ones watching this amazing interview, one of the things that we have come to discover is that the ancient artifacts that have been excavated now, they are showing, and even the Bugasphere, they are showing, as we see the Virgin Mary and Jesus holding the spheres,
Right.
and we see even in templates, ancient templates, the engraved beings, ET
Right.
beings, holding in the same position the spheres. So, regarding to that technological part, like how much of it is religion and how much of it is science, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's neither. It's like if you think of technology in 1946, 47 with Roswell.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we were using transistors, like with tubes, and then out of nowhere, a weather balloon. Now the images just came out of the crash site finally, just out of nowhere 3 weeks ago. That was not a weather balloon. That is a craft,
Yes.
right? The government showed it now. So if you think of how technology ramped up, it's third. It's like middle. It's not religious. It's not scientific.
Yeah.
It's something else. And that's where, if you notice, like really religious people get really weird about tech or AI. Unless they're a major pastor who wants to live stream, then it's okay.
Yeah, but
But if their kid goes online and looks at any porn, they're fucking done,
Yes.
Because the pastor's only allowed to show them how to do it.
Yeah, it's I do think
Sorry.
that it's a bridge, you know, like how people start to relate to accept that everything, as you said, comes from a higher form of perception.
Right.
We're now getting the quantum physics. We're now getting more. So regarding to that, how would you say that? Because a lot of people say that, let's say, New Earth is here. What are the messages that you see in your reality that when you get those visions that you say, okay, I believe this. I believe that this time we're going to make it different. Or, you know, give a different response. Even though you have said, you know, about the very specific constants that astrology dictates,
Yeah.
you know, taking into consideration them. Because I can see that also by what you were saying. We have a very specific frame of those constants that are dictated by the asters, you know.
Right.
Yet the how we are going to navigate through those constants is what makes it different.
Right.
So based on that, what would you say are, you know, like these signals that you say, oh, we're definitely on the right path?
Yeah, so like every couple thousand years, these change of ages, it's always the religion or the ideology that becomes peaked out. So I see people, if you watch the numbers of like Christianity in America go down and then in the last 2 years actually go up, that was a sign of like, okay, the New Earth's coming. You'd think it'd be opposite, but it actually is like, oh no, it is. And more people are clinging and leaving spirituality because they're scared. And then what's interesting is like, we have all this information more than ever in the world, and more people are like, I don't know what's really going on next, like in my life or whatever. That's like another sign that some next level here, that we've reached a critical mass moment.
Exactly.
Right? And the astrology's there too for that. But another part of it too would be like, with technology, it's really interesting. The people that are really into technology are people who are really free and open, and people who are not are the most restricted. Like, I gotta stay in my container, I'm afraid of it. Like, I drink sugar, I don't give a fuck. But the spiritual community freaks out, and so it's all psychosis. People are like locked into like, I have to be this, and actually what the New Earth is gonna be is like, all the shit that you were told was all a lie.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The same way that a person has to get over Jesus Christ because he's not even fucking white, he's fucking Palestinian. Right?
Yes.
Okay? Have to get to the realization that sugar's been around forever or whatever, or like gluten's been around forever, like that whole thing, and all the new technology's shown that like gluten intolerance is like because other people talk about it, or women who get breast implants and then they're like, oh my god, my implants, it's just because it's being talked about.
Absolutely.
If you never told somebody that,
it doesn't
they'd be
exist.
fine.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's really interesting how I know we're at that new place because everybody now, it's the next new thing, the next new thing, the next new thing, the next new thing. And then you hear Antichrist coming on the other side at the same time. Where you look at the spiritual community being like, my breast implants are hurting me. Oh my God, there was this fucking thing in my food. That's the spiritual Antichrist, is any of that shit, and the religious Antichrist.
Yeah.
So at the same time, I'm watching the freak out. On both sides, equally. As a Hermetic astrologer, I have to look at it neutral. So I laugh. Anybody who's in the spiritual community going, oh my God, I had this, that's the same way I look at a Christian going, the Antichrist is coming.
Okay, so...
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely does.
It's
and
the same thing. Same thing.
It gets me to think, because there are different stars that actually amplify the beaming of different parts in our brain. For instance, this is what I'm getting, you know, like at a quantum level. This is why when there is a moon, or besides other factors, or Saturn, or you know, there are different things activating the inner space. Okay, so now that you know about that, what would be another astronomical element that could actually contrast or vacuum that role play, you know?
3A Atlas.
That's where I'm going to.
Right?
Yes.
Because it's interstellar, it's not acting like anything ever, and it was predetermined and pre-planned to arrive here and to be at the same, only 5 degrees off on the ecliptic plane of the sun, right? Like with all the planets, and to perfectly come in between all these inner planets
Exactly.
and to not look like a comet, not act like a comet. So that's like the curveball
Exactly.
that
Yes.
brings us as in astrology, right? When we found Pluto in 1930,
Uh-huh.
we actually thought it was going to be the biggest planet, right? Pluto, when it was found on the
Yes.
first, and that's because it finally came up in declination north to be able to be seen after being out of bounds and south in declination. So it was like, oh my God. And every decade that went by, oh, it's a little smaller. By the time we got to the 70s, it was like, oh, it's actually a little thing.
Yeah, dwarf planet.
But Pluto is, from 1930 to when it finally came out of and went down in declination out of view, when they took the pictures in 2018, was the fastest in population growth of all time. The whole world and growing forever. And what you've noticed since 2018 is a downfall. Like, the world's not growing, it's shrinking. Things are falling apart. It's not going to... So part of the New Earth is not this building this new era. It's watching it all fall apart.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm going to be very hardcore here. There is no abundant growing... Everything's just going to keep dying. This is, if you watch history and you look at every Pluto cycle,
Yeah, but
there is no more growth. Look at the population growth right now. In 10 years, what we know is today, there won't even be people as much.
No, and thank you for
Nobody's
saying
having
this.
kids.
Exactly.
If you don't have 2 kids as a woman, where's the spirituality?
Where is your divine feminine? Yeah.
But women can't have kids anymore.
You know, thank you for bringing this up, because I do believe that it's super important to understand, however you want to name it, that we are living cycles, as you said, and how we embrace those cycles is the key. Not to come and falling for a new age that everything is beautiful and everything is happy and everything is, like rose petals and so forth, yet knowing how to navigate within the cosmic forces, the forces of the universe. And this is
That's
why
what
I was
happened in
asking.
Atlantis, right? Oh, it's all great, except for all you people. Only this small group of people had all the power, and everybody else, and then they fucked it up, and then they woke everybody up, and it just was done.
Yeah. So focusing on the constants, the new constants, which in this case is 3i Atlas, it's bringing new codes, So that's
time.
also another form to create, would you say? Because I see it this way. Okay, so we know that this is collapsing. So we focus on what we choose to create without being challenged by things that are collapsing,
Right. So I'll ask you a question that's answering it too. So when Rome fell, right, and was taken over by the Goths it was like in the 400s, 410, right, 80. But right before that was, of course, Constantine.
Yes.
And, of course, you had the Council of Nicaea, right, in the 300s. And that's where they came up with Christianity. And there was big debates. And there was a guy who debated and was like, I don't know about all this. I kind of think it could go another way. And they excommunicated him out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when things are falling apart, things are being talked about and new, but it's about the disagreements that come, and you always see this like power thing. The only thing that's going to be, I think, good about this new Earth is that maybe a lot of the things that are falling apart really get people to get over the idea of power.
Yeah, it's...
Because the power is the problem. Putting myself before everyone else to gain as much as I can. And then, I mean, when you die, it doesn't come with you. Or there was that whole, like, South African or something that just did the whole rapture day, and all these people believed it, so they wouldn't go in the toilet on those days because they thought when they were going to get raptured that they didn't want toilet paper up their ass. That was crazy, and that was true stories.
Yes.
Just recent.
No,
That it gets to where right now, I think, you're right. Like, it's not this, like, anybody who's saying, oh, it's going to be this beautiful, perfect thing, is like, oh, that's kind of scary. Because, like, show me evidence of that right now.
Yeah.
As an astrologer, it's evidential.
Yeah.
And what you see is we've crossed already the threshold, and what it's going to look like is actually more of what we're still seeing.
Yeah. But they do that
cycles
on
take
purpose.
too long to just do this reverse.
Yes.
Right? that there's no just like instantaneous like, oh, and then it's going to go to ultimate light. If you watch our Earth and sun relationship, the sun just doesn't pop out one day and just like when it wants to and just go bah, 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 you know, and then when you're in the middle of the night you're like, oh my god, it'd be so nice to have the sun come out. Okay, here we go.
Yes, but that's chronos, you know, that's how I feel, you know, like the perception of time, you know, like everything can be like this and we have forgotten of the true time.
Right.
You know?
So
the cosmic cycles.
I think it could be really good though. It's just like those debate moments about what things are. People are going to have to come in and like shed all their belief systems off.
Yeah, and that's where I'm heading to. So one of the pillars of the Way of Being Foundation is precisely educational programs. So leadership and educational programs. So what would you suggest? How would you see that this amazing educational program would be providing to the humanity?
Yeah, anything that's not taking old scholastic ideas that especially come from Newton onward.
Yeah.
So having to go before Newton.
Yes.
Because like what's happened in scholastic world, especially in the colleges, the universities, even all the way down to like, you know, public school systems, charter schools. Everybody's just like recycling old garbage that doesn't mean anything. And a lot of it's not really backed as truth, especially as the world keeps changing. And nobody's going back and like reforming any of that. So I think a lot of it's going to be coming back down to like African tribes. Like you go out to Africa, they don't know anything that we know. We don't know anything they know. But I have a couple friends that are astrologers that are African shaman who've done that down there and actually are astrologers. But like, you know, the spiritual experiences there, like if somebody in the tribe does something wrong, the shaman picks up on it, the whole community talks about it, and then like a leopard shows up like as a sign. Life's a lot more simpler than giving people all this stuff and then like this is the way you access it or whatever. Just it's about surrendering and letting it be and being honest. Like,
simplicity.
Yeah, and like expression. I think it's about how to teach young kids today or even people who've been lost and not really found themselves yet to express themselves, to allow the universe to come to them. Yeah. I like that basic story. It's a lot deeper than just the leopard showing up, but it's like
it is.
That's how it's working if you look at the places that haven't been touched on Earth today.
Yeah.
That they don't look at a banana as theirs. If they have 5 bananas and somebody else needs a banana, well, okay, when they have 2 peaches or pears or something or a rubber tree or whatever, and you don't, it's not even about sharing. It's just about we got each other. Exactly. So we're, you know, it's like then you start hearing about all this like talk in the spiritual community about everybody to be rich. It's the opposite of what we came here to be. Exactly. So when it's about the crypto stuff, that's all government. It's all government, and the governments are the problem. And the astrology really said no to governments. That's what the last 5 years was about. It woke everybody up to that, but everybody's still finding a way to grab on. So I think the schools, the new way is like teaching people how to not rely on these systems that...
And involving also a lot of astrology, you know, but as core teaching, would you say?
Yeah, which, I mean, that's... what is an hour on your watch? That's Horus on the horizon, and we know where the hour is every day. I mean, like, so people like use astrology every day, they just don't realize it in their everyday life, right?
Yes.
So when they're looking at the horizon, that's Horus's zone.
So it doesn't exist because they don't realize it.
Correct. So like they're all living in this matrix that they don't even know how it works, and they're complaining about their breast implants to take out.
So.
You know, or they're complaining about the gluten.
Yeah.
But they don't even realize, like, maybe if they looked at the horizon and they looked at their chart and they looked at, like, what was happening in their life, that they were actually going through massive anxiety, and they have to get to the deeper part of, like, why their dad was weird to them when they were young and never talked to them, and you're with a guy who actually is doing the same thing, and that's actually the reason.
Yeah, it is dated.
It's like that's actually what is causing your intolerance is you're around somebody who you're intolerant around.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's where the real energy's at. Like the food's already dead.
Yeah, yeah, but
So-
it's like distorting simplicity. Okay, you want to get a quick healing? Okay, there you go. Take your pills. But
Right.
the simplistic the simplistic answer is to access to the core.
Yeah.
You know, so it's that illusion. So
Yeah, so I would say that actually would be the...
nice.
I mean, if you look at like Nostradamus or John Dee back in the
I love
16th
John Dee.
centuries, John Dee, right? Like, they ironically were both around during the plagues then and all that, but Nostradamus like couldn't go to school, to university, because the plagues were happening. So he went on his own to try and make his own plague cure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then realized that the whole structures of the world and the universities were all bullshit. And started making almanacs. And then started going into his own space and started to create prophecies and so forth. John Dee, of course, too, very much was fascinated by stuff. But I mean, like, the idea of, like, the British Empire came from him. Elizabeth made him the head advisor and astrologer.
Yes.
And
exactly.
who's the number one monarch of all time who changed the world and let
Yeah.
people be free of religion and actually let witches go instead of, like, we're in Scotland, they were being killed? Elizabeth. So actually, if you look at history, wherever the coolest stuff's happened, it's when the astrology is, like, allowed. So part of what's going to be, I think, the wake up to the new earth is how do we all break away from anybody controlling us and getting out of everyone's story, whether it's alien story, whether it's other people's, and getting the fuck out.
Yeah, but how can you achieve that if you don't go deep within?
Yeah.
How if you don't give your feedback to the universe, and then the universe gives back its feedback?
Yeah.
You know?
And yeah, it's going to be an interesting... Because there's going to be a lot of levels that people have to let go of.
Yes. It's a stage for
You
that.
know.
That's what I've seen. You know, that how can you create if there is still too much noise going on? You
Yeah, my
know?
favorite scene of The Matrix, which was Matrix 1, is when Morpheus is sitting there with Neo and showing him The Matrix after they pulled him out, and it's the TV, and they're just sitting in the loading program, and he's showing him like what the Earth actually looks like. That's what we're about to go through.
Yes. Yes, I've seen it as well.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, this is what's happening?
Yeah.
Oh.
How
A
long do you think
hologram.
this process will take?
2 years max.
Yeah.
We're right there. It's pushing itself out.
2027, I
Yeah.
have been reading. Yeah.
It's already happening.
Yes. Yeah.
They're trying to squash as much as they can of it right now. So, plus the main thing I think too, like the show we've been watching, it's all been a show.
Yeah.
It's like watching
Like the
Britney. It's
Truman.
like trying to watch Britney Spears'
Yeah.
Instagram channel and be serious. Like, are you kidding me? That ain't her, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can see I don't know if people know this, but you just freeze frame it and see that there's some person like putting an AI face on her and acting to be her for the last 4 years, right?
Surreal. You
Right?
know?
And people
Yeah.
believe it. And
Yes.
comments are off on her page,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but on the other side, you know, what I have been tuning into, because you were talking about these blood things and so forth, many of the artifacts that have been found, ET artifacts, have, you know, like blood to transfer their DNA. But immediately, the human mind is like, oh, wow, sacrifices, blood sacrifices. I'm not saying no, I'm not saying yes. I'm just saying that I'm tuning into another field. Like even the heart sacrifices, you're talking about quantum manifestation. You know,
Right.
and you see that in many of the tablets, but they don't talk about that. They just talk about
Right.
one perception. So, yeah, I agree with everything that you have just said. And
Yeah, you got to come open to it all because, like, I think a lot of truth's going to come, but there's still going to be even people who say they're bringing the truth out, holding something back. We got to break the door down.
yes,
We just got to find where the door is. And I think we're getting close to that moment.
yeah,
It's very much like the Truman Show. Like, he just keeps... And that's where, like, love... Like, we talk about love, but I hate to say it, like, I'm a Leo, too. Like, romance is the best love. the whole bullshit of like, oh, I love everyone. Like, it's
you're
part of
wearing
that.
a T-shirt.
Right, I'm wearing the lover skirt, actually. That's kind of funny, right? But, like, you know, like, that's what leads Truman to even, like, leave the Truman Show. If there was no hot chick that he was into, sorry, no dude is going to cross the oceans for, just for themselves. A guy will cross an ocean and try to get out for a woman. Or same thing, a woman will do everything for a man, or vice versa, or somebody they love, like, deeply, right?
What was for you? What led you to cross and, you know...
To get into this world?
Yes.
Well, definitely. I mean, I knew I'd find, like, my person, like, being in this world. I definitely didn't want to, like, turn into some, like, insurance agent or something like that when I was young. Because I, like, always put myself, like, what would have happened if I never would have woke up and done acid and fucking been a raver? And, like, actually it was just being a raver at 16 and just rolling, just being on acid and listening to dance music in 2000, fucking, you know, and just being like, damn, you know? And then woke up and was doing astrology. But I always look at myself like, if I wouldn't have done that, I probably would be like an insurance guy or something, you know, with like a collared shirt on, just being like, hey, how are you?
But what
how are the kids?
What hooked you? What made you cross the door?
I didn't even really cross. I just like walked right in and just was like, I'm never going back.
There was not something there. Hey.
No, honestly, I mean, there was just like maybe a curiosity of like when I heard my first, like, it's kind of sad, but I'll be honest, it was a happy hardcore. Like, do you remember, like, I don't know, I'm old, but like, when you used to go to the malls, like, right, they used to have like CD, and they had the Nokia phone with the light. You could buy the lights and for your battery for your Nokia 5190. Do you remember that shit? Or am I too old?
I think there was already existing.
Okay, so like you used to go to malls like back in the CD life, and there used to be like cool Asian dudes who used to sell like dance CDs, and they would like put like little cool LED. There wasn't even LED light yet, but they would put like cool lights.
Okay.
And that's where you bought like a trance CD.
Okay.
And then you would get like your Nokia. Those were the number one phones, right?
Yes.
This is like 98.
Okay.
Like, and then you would like buy like an LED light for your fucking phone, and you could redo your screen. I put like a naked bitch on my like green little screen where you pay Snake, right?
Okay.
So they hooked it up, and I heard this like happy hardcore track, and they were wearing like back the gear. The Asians used to roll with like the fucking hats and the yellow fucking jacket and the breakdance shit, and he was just like happy hardcore. I'm like, damn, I don't know. I just kind of like want that. So I bought a happy hardcore CD and I took it home. I'm like, that shit's horrible. So then I went back to those guys. I'm like, is there something a little bit more better? And they're like, oh, you like probably like trance then. And then I got into trance real quick. But hearing those noises, I was like, this is what is going to take me wherever I need to go.
Awesome.
So then I started going to raves like with friends or people I didn't know. I used to go on rave links. So, and I used to do a lot of drugs. I used to be a meth addict. I used to go smoke meth and go to fucking parties with people I don't know and smoke meth and do Molly and fucking do everything in acid and just watch DJs I don't even know with people I don't know.
Yes.
But that led me to the door. I'm not saying you have to go be a meth head or something.
No, but it's that acceleration that you said. You know, it's like it becomes so vibrant, so alive that then
exactly
like a supernova.
Especially because, you know, Central Cal used to make the best meth in the whole world in 2004 through 6, but that shit was really good. then they shut that operation down. But it's true, though. So that was my door, and then plus, you know, I was looking for my girl, but there was many girls when I was young. Like, everybody's so in and out of each other's lives and stuff, and I just always, you know, was like, I'll find somebody, but it was just always like, how do I get this out there? And then how do I get astrology out to the mainstream? Because I went down that path. I've been on so many reality shows, TV shows. I'm like, so people don't believe me. Like, most people are like, this guy's a sellout, right? Because I've done so much TV or whatever.
Yeah, it's about
But then it's like, I'm like actually not on that team, you know? Like, I'm on this team. So it's like, I've always been in that in-between space where it's like, yeah, I'm on lots of TV and I've done the whole mass media thing, big time. But I always use that to make my own businesses and never got lost in that shit. Like, you don't see me in no fucking, like, weird house party with all those people.
Doing weird things.
No.
Okay.
But, like, you know, that's where I think people have to start finding what drives them to, like, want to swim an ocean.
Yes. Thank you for sharing your amazing story. I feel the truth not only through your frequency, yet through your eyes. And when you were talking about we will find the door, immediately the pupil in your eyes.
Oh,
it
really?
was like, that's the door. Not my door, your
Right.
door, my door,
That's
and
cool.
mine. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right on.
Okay, give me a hug. Thank you so much.
Of course.